So this one's going to be getting a new quarter panel. I have a Honda Civic here. This one got the quarter panel completely destroyed. So this one's going to be getting a new quarter panel. That's really about all this one gets, and a new bumper cover, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this panel cut off. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna roughly sit this panel on there, and it's gonna overlap the original part of the car right here. And same thing at the bottom. Then once I get it sitting right where I want it, I'll cut through both layers, and that will give me a perfect cut. And then whenever this goes back on, they actually have me make a backing plate, which I'll show you exactly what that is once I get to it. But it's a 40mm backer, so I'm gonna mark this. This will make sense to you guys in a minute. Then when I make my final cut right here, it'll give me this 40mm strip, which I will use for my backer plate, and I'll do the same thing down there as well. Alright, I have this one all fit together. My door gap is nice and even, as well as the taillight gap and the trunk lid gap. So this one is just about ready to get put on permanently. Now, in order to make sure I put this panel back in the exact same spot, I have some little sheet metal screw holes. I put them in about 5 or 6 spots, and I run these screws back in the holes, and that tells me the panel is sitting exactly where I had it when I fit everything up. So I am back on to this Honda Civic from Friday that I put this new quarter panel on. I got it all welded up on Friday. Now I'm just gonna do my fill work at the seams and get this one finished up. Now, I have a couple seam sealer beads that I have to reproduce. I have this one in the trunk jam right here. I'm gonna tape that off and reproduce that, and then I have one in the wheelhouse which I already taped off as well. Now I have some epoxy primer that I mixed up, and I'm putting this down where the window urethane goes, where the back glass gets glued in. You obviously won't see any of this, but this is the proper way to give something for that urethane to stick to. You want to use epoxy primer just like I'm doing now. One last thing before I send this one to paint. This has chip guard across the bottom, which is basically a thick texture a lot of manufacturers put across the bottom of rocker panels to keep rocks from coming up and chipping. So I'm going to tape this off and go ahead and apply that chip guard across the bottom there.